Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this Friday edition of the Deep Woo. Today, of course, is the moon is inhabited with Mr. Bruce Sees All. You can find his work at Bruce Sees All here on YouTube. Bruce, welcome back to the show. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much, man. Always a pleasure to stop by, and you let me know if there's any echo feedback.
There is.
I don't know why. I don't have another.
Hold on. I hear something somewhere.
Yeah, it's not us.
Okay, I think we're good. Wait. No, I don't hear it.
Jean-Claude.
Wait.
There's people. There was people. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was us. We were in echo. It was so weird.
Really?
You know, we're sitting in this Mercury retrograde all week. I've had some weird glitches on all my live streams. It's been a weird week, to say the least.
Yes.
Ben the Rock says 5x5. Okay, merci Ben. J'apprécie. I think Ben is from Montreal, right? Let me know if you guys can hear us okay, or if the echo issue is still in the background there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on this live interactive show. We're going to have some fun with you today. We have a little bit of news to go through. We have some weird captures around the world of some UAPs or UFOs, whatever you want to call them. And Bruce has also prepared a video just for us here today with some of his latest captures. So a lot of cool stuff to go through here today. But first, we're going to say a lot of 5x5s. I think we're good. But before we start all that, Bruce, the hell's happening, man? You seem to be like melting on the screen. You look fucking great, man. You look 10 years younger. What's going on?
I don't like talking about it much, but
yeah.
I'm on a real quick. I'll keep it under 30 seconds. I'm on a euphoric high. I'm a pizza eater, poutines, cheese, chips, cakes, sugar,
Poutine.
And yeah, but it's no more anymore for now. I lost over 30 pounds. Last time I talked to you was 20. I lost 10 more plus than that.
Wow.
I'm fasting 48 hours, 72 hours and eating, fasting 48 hours and eating, fasting 40. And I'm trimming down, started exercising, and that's it. Doing good.
Wow.
That's the reason why I look a little thinner. And I know that if you wouldn't have mentioned it, the community probably would have said, who the hell is that? I'm like,
who's that guy? Well, you're looking more and more like your original pictures of when you started the channel with your microphone. You look.
I'm in the shirt. I'm in the shirt 2 years after I had my first image. So I got another shirt that I kept that I got to get. I'm trying to recreate the same icon on Bruce Sees All with me with my thin face, like at my telescope. It's hard, man.
You're almost there. Well, congratulations, man. It's hard to lose weight, especially at our age as guys too. And also, it's not just what we are consciously putting in our body, but we are being fucked with at every level. Our water, what's in the air, all that stuff, like the estrogen mimickers and like all the leaching of the plastic products we have food from and all that stuff. But anyways, congratulations, great man. You look great.
Thanks so much, man.
Where do we want to start today? Everybody saying hello, Jean-Claude BeyondMystic. Mods, thank you so much, everyone. You guys are amazing. Fairy Light says, you look good, Bruce. Man, I know.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, somebody says, yes, perfect show for the full moon. Guys, I have the live stream of this. See, here it says it's supposed to be in 4 minutes from now. Oh, let me share that on the screen.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the blood moon, actually. It's going to be a moon that dims down. This is not the blood moon, just for people to know. It's not going to become red, the moon.
Okay.
Even though we see it red.
Well, it's a lunar eclipse, and it's interesting because we're in Scorpio. We did a couple of videos with the astrologers on our show this week, so there's a lot there. So it'd be cool if we actually get to see here the event live during our show.
Is it a partial?
Timing is right on this clock. Let me look at the other feed. I have another feed also.
Is it a partial? It is a partial eclipse, right?
Yeah,
like it's just.
Let me go
skimming.
back to the replay here. Maybe these guys had it and we just missed it. Let me see here at the end of this one. I don't see it.
There.
So we're at the end of that.
Oh, that's the moon. That's the moon.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to track for this, and hopefully we can get a live chat and maybe refresh that for you guys. It's pretty cool. But anyways, I'll get back to that in a bit. Bruce, there's a lot of weird news lately. Of course, you and I have been tracking some of this. You've been talking about this with your folks there in the community. But just today, actually, really weird stuff coming out about the moon being solid. So more evidence found showing that the moon's inner core is solid. And we're getting more and more reports about this here by the hour. It came out a couple of days ago. What do you make of this? I mean, you remember those experiments back in the 60s and 70s? They shot missiles at the moon and said, oh my God, it's ringing like a bell. They thought it was hollow. So does this preclude the fact that it still might be hollow? Like, what's your views? Well, first of all, explain this news from today, and two, explain why perhaps it could be both. Both there's a core, but it could still be hollow as well. Bruce.
Absolutely. Listen, you mentioned a good point, is that you just said before even us getting into this that the moon missions, they were doing experiments on supposedly on the surface. We'll just whether they did or not, we'll say that we can assume that they did. I'll turn the volume down here. We can assume that they did. But here's the thing. Guess where they found the information? They found the information by I'm echoing again. Am I echoing again,
I don't hear you here, but I'll put myself on mute. Wait, go ahead.
No, it could be just, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, where they got the information that the moon has a core is they went back into the data of the old missions. So that means as far back into the 60s, supposedly they knew that the moon had a core and that they never mentioned it because it's not new tests that they're doing. They are starting to do new tests, but this is all old data from Apollo missions that said, yes, they concluded when they went there that, so they say the moon had a solid core. It's almost 300 kilometers. It's apparently just like Earth, very similar to Earth, but they say that the outer core is not as dense as the inner core, but that's like Earth. Earth has like an iron molten lava around the exterior of the core. JC, they came out with a new layer around a new, the layers inside, like the sedimentary rocks and everything. They have layers, the magma and everything when they talk about the different layers inside Earth. 2023, they came out with a new layer, and I don't know what that layer is about. But as for what we were talking about on top, is the core alive or not? That they're not mentioning it yet. And like you said, that yes, there could be a core, and yes, like you mentioned, in theory, could it be hollow? Probably could. Is there a core that's dead, but that the core is there and solid now? Like, I mean, Earth's core shifted, right? Is the moon's core going to turn? Right. And real quickly, that brings the question. I mentioned it in the stream today because I'm hoping to say it before the news says it. What if the moon now has a magnetosphere? What if they're actually admitting, because they want to make breathable air with the regolith? They heated it up, simulated the sun, and they said that it produced oxygen. So they say with the sun, they can produce oxygen. So to finish off, China sun. If the China sun, what if they sent it around the moon? If they had a sun going around the moon, they could make vegetation grow on the moon.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, okay, so there's a few people in the chat, and I totally agree. It's like, yeah, of course the moon is inhabited. We're already there. Perhaps we've been there since the mid-century.
Right.
Let me bring this up to Elon Musk was replying to a comment about building a habitat on the moon. I don't have the original comment he was replying here to, but Robert Seffer, he's an anthropologist. He does a lot of amazing videos on YouTube. If you haven't seen him on, I'm going to invite him on the show too.
The old Nazi base. The old Nazi base.
Yeah. And he says, both of which are already accomplished by Germans, which I find it hard to believe that you don't already know. He's talking to Elon Musk here. And of course, we're bringing out that picture here. I wanted to ask you about this specifically. Now, you and I have covered many times before over the last years, these very intricate structures on the moon. They look like warehousing complexes, bridge, joining them together, all of these things. Have you ever come across this, or do you know which crater this is supposed to be that they're pointing at? And what do you see when you look at your telescope? Now, whether it's there or not, you've discovered many times before there is, or there appears to be, an obfuscation process underway, whether that's smoke screens on the moon in their orbit as well, perhaps other technologies at play here. But speak about this image, where it's supposed to be located on the moon, and if you've found anything like it before.
So this is interesting because I don't know exactly which crater it is, but if it's on the dark side, I don't know if it's on dark side or on Earth side. I can confirm to you 100,000% for sure that if this is on Earth side, that is the Southern Highlands. The Southern Highlands is where Clavius crater is on the moon, and it's where you see the most craters. It's riddled with craters. That's the part of the moon where Clavius crater is. So this could be on the bottom side of the moon, but I'm saying that without confirming what the name of the craters. I would love to find out. You know why? Because that double crater, JC, is a crater I think I filmed before, and that's where the cities are. And I also want to say that I believe that yes, it's the right place. So that's Clavius Crater, and you're right in the Southern Highlands, and it's pointing on the bottom line there. You can see it's pointing to the bottom of the moon on the second row, the second image. There's a circle. Yep. So that's where it is. Like as we're looking at it, it's very close to the bottom of the moon. And honestly, I think I'm getting scared a little bit because I think they bombed it. I think what I'm filming is the same area with rubble and only one of the bars of that Nazi thing. I can see two of them in the Southern Highlands. But again, if it's not in the Southern Highlands, I'm seeing something with the city, and it's not that necessarily the NASA one. I'm not, I don't know. I know that. Bruce, did you see the Nazi crater? Yeah. Well, we'll just say German crater.
Right.
I heard the German, sign that was there, but I cannot confirm where that crater is. I've seen the angles, the 90-degree angles often. So that right off the bat, it could be a part of it, or it could be just quite simply some unnatural, because 90-degree angles don't form.
We're going to set aside the fact for a moment that it's the swastika we're talking about here. So
right.
It could be for another show. But
right.
This is interesting. So first of all, you guys watching in the show now, or even in replay, or if you're in the live chat now, let us know if you have an idea as to where, because this has been reported before, this Nazi base here in one of the craters. Was there ever a name given to the crater? One, so if you guys know in the chat, or you think let us know. And two, was it also on our side of the moon or on the dark side of the moon? That would help a lot in terms of our continued investigation.
Could be ice crater.
Indeed in the south, as you say here, pointing to what we're seeing in now. And that ties into these explosions that you filmed,
lots,
which appears to be like a open conflict going on. We can't describe it any other way than there's something happening on the moon. Are they bombing the Nazi crater, those civilization? Is there something else there that we're bombing at the same time? Like, this is a fascinating topic. I had no idea.
Because they could be bombing ancient ruins. Right. They could be going down there and saying, well, that was a laboratory where they're experimenting on, I don't know, popsicles. So they're going to blow it up. No more popsicle experimentation there. No more. Maybe it's labs, really screwed up labs that were evil, and they're theory after theory can come up. It's plausible. Some people think there's prisons on the moon holding people. I mean, we have no idea, you know. Maybe the actors go there.
Some of the stuff you showed before looks like concentration camps. Like, I think you and I joked about this on one of
the at one point, I don't know if you remember, I posted the campground, let's say, near the border. And I also posted one that I had in the moon.
Oh, yeah, the comparison.
No freaking difference. Big rectangles, small lines leading to other rectangles, maybe showers. It gets sinister when you think of what happened here, what they could be doing in hiding on the moon.
Yeah. And talk about maybe for the viewers that are new, we're going to get into some of the footage you've captured here in the next video, but talk about this, the concept of what you think is, I want to say man-made, but I was going to trip on that. That is coordinated obfuscation of some of the areas on the moon. What makes you think that? What are the elements that suggest that perhaps somebody is trying to hide something on the moon from us here on our vantage point on Earth?
Right. Well, a lot of people start talking about shadows. We know we see some shadows. We can say that we see some shadows on the moon. The shadows are basically always in the same area. So we don't see a moon differently placed. And since it's locked there, they say, even though we see it going around the moon, it's still locked, and the angle of Earth is changing. But why are we seeing dark areas that are not shadows? I see a crater, and beside the crater, you have a massive black shadow that's not the shape of the crater. And I'm taking into consideration also the elongated pull of a shadow from another, even a building. We see a building on the ground here. You see that the shadow blends into the light, but on the moon, it's not that. It's direct, precise, square, black square, and lots of black squares on the moon. And here's how I believe they hide it. In dark regions, and you're going to say it's silly, but I didn't do any research, but that's it. You don't have to research to build on the moon. Dark structures in dark areas that are never lit up, and the lit up areas that have structures always have a cloud, which we will be seeing in the video I showed you, a pipe or tunnel at the end of Plato Crater with a puff of smoke that is literally the size of many towns. You could see that it's like 20, 30 kilometers wide, a big plume of smoke, and always there in the area. So they can move around under the hazes. And I have another example in the video, under the hazes, and that's really how so get this. White structures that are illuminated, okay, they are blinding, and they're sitting on the ridges of the craters, okay. It could be UFOs, it could be buildings, but it's like little balls or eggs that you see all lined up, 8 or 9 at the same time, and they're tiny. They're just so far away that you can't see shapes. So if it is a building, all we're seeing is like the top of an egg, right? Like an egg shape. You just see a boom. But the shadows and the craters, it's not shadows that we're looking at. There are black structures on the moon that are in areas that are dark, and you see the lines leaving. I've shown that many a times, for sure.
As you're talking about these cloud things, have you by any chance seen this kid movie Smallfoot?
No, but I heard I've seen some trailers about it though. But why?
So it came out a couple of years ago. I went to watch this with my kids, and it's hilarious because here we're seeing it from the perspective of Bigfoot. And in the Bigfoot community, they have these legends of Smallfoot. So basically, they have a legend that perhaps humans exist, but everybody's saying, "Oh no, that's just crazy. You guys are conspiracy."
So they're
theories.
telling a secret story the opposite way,
right?
Mirrored.
Yes, and I got to tell you, it's hilarious. The disclosure in this movie is amazing. They have this shaman or elder in the town of these Bigfoot, and he has all the rules. And the rules on his jacket, they're like little stones on his jacket. And over time, this jacket gets so heavy with all these rules, but these rules are put in place so that the Bigfoot don't realize that there are in fact Smallfoot or small feet people, and that they could maybe join forces.
Instead of hiding the big feet and people are looking for them, you got big feet that are looking to see if humans exist.
Right.
Opposite friggin' way. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. And so think about this. So the Bigfoot live on top of a mountain, and every day they have a job where they're putting ice from the mountain in this mechanism that they think is an industry. That's how they get paid. Like that's how their whole society is built around this industry. Wow. And they're making a cloud layer that basically obfuscates their view from the bottom of the mountain. So all they see is where they are on top of the mountain and everything else. And so they are creating the illusion of their own prison because they cannot see past this cloud layer. And so when you talked about the clouds on the moon, I'm like, not the first time they're using these clouds or these mechanisms to thwart our view or to skew our view of reality.
Since it's in movement, Jean-Claude, that means by adjusting the exposure, quite simply, you can see through clouds. A soccer game, your kid's at a soccer game and you can't see the field. Well, in your image, if you bring your exposure down, it'll show everyone in the bleachers. The fog disappears a little bit. It becomes gray and you can see through it. The same thing of programs that they have to look at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, they do it. The divers, they edit it to get rid of the cloudiness in the water and the refraction from the light. The same thing to be able to see the moon and bring the exposure down, and you see a whole slew of movement, but I can't detect what they are, but they're moving. You know, I'm not confirming it's a UFO. Some can be debris. Lots of it can be debris, but debris won't change angles and it won't stop. And it won't go in and out of craters. And that's why it's important to document the characteristics. So
if you guys in the chat have seen Smallfoot, let us know. Laurie says, yeah, that's very interesting.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah. The disclosure in there, again, too, because some people start to question the reality and they're banned from this Bigfoot city, right? Just kind of like you and I are banned.
Yeah, and the kids today are so smart. In a couple of years there, they'll be at school, they'll be playing that scenario. They'll be playing that, and then they'll be, Yeah,
exactly. Speaking of being banned, they just passed a Bill C-11 here in Canada, and look, they're already trying to, for our protection, make sure that we can't watch, this particular news outlet in Canada. And I thought that was weird because they already got rid of the problem maker, who we can't get talking about that here too. Right. But it's just going to show you how this is going crazy. I had this.
They want to charge us. I heard. They're going to charge people on social media. They're going to talk down about the Prime Minister of Canada.
Guys, go check Bruce. If you haven't seen it too, go check out this episode I did yesterday with Julie and Jay Widener, Nostradamus and the Vortex of Time. This is the final of the series we've produced here. Absolutely amazing. We talked about the Ark of the Covenant, but in there we talked about the censorship too, and we talked about how not just here in Canada, all over the world now, we're seeing more and more encroachment and more pressure being put, legislation being put here to shape our narrative. And to some extent, we were opining that perhaps all of this censorship has nothing to do with the shots, the economy, the thing in the Ukraine. No. It has to do with all this esoteric knowledge coming out. They want to clamp down on that, just like in Smallfoot, the movie. The master of that territory is very much trying to prevent that occult knowledge from coming out because it will disturb their power structure. That's how this movie is all set up. Anyways,
well, you touched a good point because the leak, the leak, the last time I spoke to you, there was a leak out.
Depending on
they're not talking about it. The government leaked information on a gaming accord, like a what do you call it, Discord channel.
Yeah.
And they leaked out information, but they say that in that information, man, it's information about Canada that is being held back because apparently it's huge. Okay. So yes, we're seeing changes without getting into anything. We see changes with the banks. We see a lot of changes, but that some of that news can be good because we see the woke association starting to crumble.
Yeah.
Exactly. The truth is coming out,
big time. You're right. And with respect to that leak too, what can I say on the show here? I'll just say this too. We're getting reports now that this whole Chinese influence here in this country is even worse than we thought. And apparently now some of the MPs had been harassed, manipulated, blackmailed a couple of years ago.
Horrible.
That the crime sinister was aware of all of that too. So this is all coming out. It's going faster and faster. And no wonder they're trying to clamp down on anything.
Yeah, the police stations, right? There was some police stations here in the States also.
Still are. But in the States, they started clamping down, by the way. I don't know if you saw last month. They
two arrests. Arrests.
CCP. Oh, no, they're up to like 500 now.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. They seem to be sweeping that in the States.
Not just to shoot that in there, there's information coming out now about bribing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. We did a show on that a couple of days ago. It was funny because last week, the Attorney General was suggesting that after their investigation, there was 8 or 9 Biden family members involved, and that if they were all indicted, there'd be nobody left for the Christmas dinner party or picture, is what he said.
Nobody left to present the turkey.
Joe. They never mentioned Joe, but this week they mentioned Joe. So now it's directly related to Joe. So things are heating up on that front. I totally agree with you, Bruce. Man, you and I are going to get in trouble if we keep talking about politics. So let's go back to the moon. So let's just go back to the tinfoil hatters so nobody take us seriously. Of course, this is all just fun and games here on the moon.
The tinfoil hatters are the smartest, most awake people online. I'm telling you. Notice that over the years, without mentioning it, all the controversies in the past are all coming true, and it's all by the theory.
We're batting 1,000, Bruce. Yep. We're batting 1,000. And where we're not, it's just because we're early. Like the mainstream news hasn't caught up to us yet. And I say us, I'm a tinfoil hatter, of course. But no, Bruce, that's not true what you just said. They're all misogynist, racist, sexist. What was the other one?
Domestic terrorists. Don't forget that one, especially the red. Any red shirts now. We're looking at red shirts, taking red shirts away. Any dogs, red collars, all gone. We want blue.
Right. Blue okay. You're gonna get me in trouble. Okay, let's go to the video you sent me for today. Let's get into this. I'm gonna bring it up to the beginning of the script here. Do you want me to play this without sound and you want to narrate?
I didn't even put any sound on it, and I can narrate it for you. And this capture is a short enough capture. It's going to go under the building. So that is an unidentified anomalous phenomena because they changed the term. It's a UAP. It's a phenomenon of light. The flashing that you're seeing, I don't know what it is. The light is not in front of the wire, JP. It's if you back it up later, once it goes by, you can back it up. You'll see as it goes by the wire. I just want people to understand it's not doing anything weird to the wire. It's just the optical illusion of the light bending because I'm getting all the light from the infrared. So it's behind that building. Yeah. It's not in front of that post that you see on the right. So it's close to me, but not in front of me.
Okay.
That is exactly 0.9 kilometers away. And I know it because the IGA is there from my house. So 0.9 kilometers. It's the same area where I saw the others lift up. So look what it's going to do. It's very slow. It is billowing. It could be reacting, also billowing because of the light.
And hold on, is this in real time or is this accelerated or slowed down?
No, real time. That's real time. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why it's slow. That's why it is going down slow. So as a comparison, this is the one that I showed your community possibly the last time of three UFOs, a division of three.
Hold on. Like,
rising up.
You're freaking me out. So this is the same shot, same loblaws. I see the corner here on the bottom.
Yeah, thank you. I haven't even mentioned that. Yes, it is the exact precise location of the light going down that you just saw. Exact area.
And in your mind, or in your view, in your analysis, is this the same craft, like a TR3B triangle, or are these three individual crafts?
Okay, we'll do something interesting. Can you back it up just a bit to get lower? To have it go up just a little bit there. Okay, good, perfect. As it goes up, I'm just going to mention this. Imagine at the beginning that it's two wings opening up. It'll freak you out, and that everything disappears. Watch. Imagine that there's something opening up on this big object with three lights, and then watch all three lights. Let's count the difference. One on the left gone, one on the right starting to dim, one on the other right starting. It's weird. You're not alone. One person the first day I posted it said it looks like a bloody triangular craft, like splitting up and opening up to go into space, and I friggin' chills. Okay, pause it. This one's going to be shaky, but it's a pleasant shake. It's all real, freehand, outside without a shirt. I ran out. Usually I lean on the fence not to shake. All you're going to see is the UFO going towards the right and then going towards the left. So now it's already going towards the left. So if you back it up a little bit, you'll see it happen real fast. Back it up.
That's going to right now.
Okay, so it's going to the right. This is sped up, by the way. Okay. It's sped up, Jean-Claude. Not a lot, but enough, because it was a long, shaky video. And going up. That whole, so as of right there, we're talking about 1 minute and 30 seconds for it to do that, the right and the left motion. Went slowly to the right and slowly to the left. But look where you are. That is just to the right of the building. Look at the lights on the left now. So it's the exact same areas, and you'll see, but this one going up is very, very real. Look, this is not the same three. Look at this one's going to the left, not the right. These are three other ones. And you know how many rows, my friend? 3 divisions of 3. I missed the first 3. I got second 3, and I got the other 3. Chills. I was incredibly excited to have seen that.
What? Okay, so from your line of sight, if I were on Google Maps and I plot from where you're locating now with your camera, pointing at this IGA, what's behind the IGA? Is that government land you were talking about?
Yes, the biolab. It's also the biolab where I'm seeing everything. Wow. So these are rising 100 feet from the biolab. Confirmed. And that biolab is 16 kilometers from the U.S. border. Mm-hmm. And it borders all around it an Indian reserve site. Look it up, Saint-Zotique Indian Reserve Site. You're not allowed going on that land. And in the back of that, the forests that separate. It's actually called Drollers. Look up Drollers Indian site, Saint-Zotique, and you should go right to the site. You're going to literally be able to view over top of it. Take your time to do it.
Okay, là. Tu te reconnais-tu, là? Notre-Dame-de-Rivière, Saint-Zotique, Éco-Centre, Saint-Zotique.
Yeah. Go left a little bit.
You mean like this?
Yeah. And go up. I want to see what that road is. What's that road, the long one? Hold on. Let me see.
Ça, c'est Autoroute du Souvenir?
Okay, look for the Chemin de Planche. It should be very close. Chemin de Planche. It's a long road that goes to Saint-Zotique, goes all the way towards Ormstown.
Wait a minute. I'll zoom all the way out here, and you know what I'm looking for. So Saint-Zotique, restaurant Saint-Zotique, Notre-Dame-des-Rivières, Pointe-Lalonde. What am I looking at?
Okay, don't move.
Saint-Zotique is here, actually. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
what I'm looking for. Chemin Sainte-Catherine.
Hold on. Yes. Boule Vierge. type in where you are on that map. Drawlers, DROLLERS. Indian Reserve. It's near Saint Zatzik, but where's the exact? And right Saint Zatzik, you should go right to. It should be right over it.
Saint Zatzik B. Ça me donne pas de drawlers là. Attends une minute.
Drawlers. Hold on, I'll find it. Hold on.
Original maps. Maybe Bruce, what we'll do. We'll set this up properly. I don't want to make people wait too much while we're in the live. We'll do this again in the next show. I want to get back into that. So let's just for now finish this particular grab. There's a reason I'm asking about that particular location. You talked about the biolabs. Maybe we'll do a special segment on that. Maybe on Rumble for the next show.
Yeah. Well, it has an Indian Reserve. Yeah. So get this: the Indian Reserve goes from Huntingdon all the way to Saint Zatzik. Okay. Huntingdon is my town. It's where I live. And the road, Le Chemin de Planche, that leaves Huntingdon on the corner of the IGA goes all the way to the Drollers, which is halfway on the road there between Saint Zatzik and Le Chemin de Planche. That area, they have archaeologists digging there daily, digging squares out. They're bringing out wagon wheels. They're bringing out arrowheads. They're bringing out a whole lot of stuff. That is very energetic territory where I believe the Cree or the Iroquois, I'm not sure myself which exactly Indian it was there, but the Indians that are there, they have all the memorabilia and everything that they're pulling out of the ground.
Is that also, Bruce, is that also where there's some old monuments that used to make the delineation between the Haut et le Bas Canada? Is that in that same area? Do you know?
That rings a bell, like the Upper Lower Canada sort of thing there.
Yeah. There were some monuments there too that people suggested. Oh, that when we were invaded here and they had these fights between the Upper and Lower Canada, that boundary was not created during that war. It was a previous boundary that might have been thousands of years old. And
right. I've heard of that. It could be because in the forest in the back, what you have there's a junction on the corner of the IGA, a big junction where every town, every so often has a main for Hydro-Quebec. It's all fenced in, and you see the massive transformers that are there, and they're buzzing. And there's high tension wires that go right through the tribe's land, like that the Indian land. And it's very old. It's also very old. Okay, watch this. On the other side of the laboratory, forest runs to Doria Institute, where Project Paperclip, La Badabobo, and did MK Ultra from the hospital Montreal in 1981. They were sending kids over from the States through a tunnel at that forest, which I've seen the tunnel. It's still there. And it goes to Doria, which, by the way, I heard that they just took it down. I'm not sure.
Just so you know, Bruce, as you were saying those words, YouTube garbled the words that you said. I did not hear what you said. It sounded like Chinese. We're gonna do this show again, but we're gonna do it on Rumble because it seems that we're touching into something we might not.
I get it.
Should talk about here today. Wow, fascinating stuff. Okay, dude, that's fascinating. And as you're talking, I have so much more material that contributes to what you're just saying now about the MK Ultra, and also.
And don't forget to look at that portal in that video. If not next time,
we'll get to it next year. That's what I want to do. But in terms of the MK Ultra thing, Jay Widener just told us yesterday too. He's producing 3 documentaries this year. One of them is on MK Ultra, and there is that connection to Montreal. So it's going to be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, because the connection is here. Eh? Not a lot of people know. It all started here, not in the States.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's get back to this one here. Let me put this.
So these objects right there, paused where it is. Okay, at the height that they are obviously just over the tops of the houses into trees. There's no plane, because I'm not going to hide it. We're looking at 0.9 kilometers away. There's no planes at that height there.
No.
Over the wire, okay. Under, no friggin' way. And JC, there is no landing strip there. There is a Valleyfield Airport, which is a small airport. Look in the center.
Yeah.
Keep watching. 1,
2,
2, and there'll be 3, and the third will come up the top. There it is, third coming out the top left.
Yeah.
So those are lights phenomena that appeared in the middle of the afternoon 3 or 4 days ago. Okay, after the rain, right beside the sun, when there's lots of clouds, not beside, but almost beside in the sky. Like left over there's the sun, you know, and over to the right was those lights. You can see that they appear, and I tend to believe that those lights split in two. Sometimes it almost looks like one of them is splitting in two. Here it's converted. It's a negative image with a green filter, and I descended the exposure and I slowed it down. I did nothing else to this. Do you notice something? Doesn't it look like we're looking at the moon?
Yeah.
It's clouds. It's the sky.
Yeah.
Just shooting that out there.
Yeah, just FYI.
Here we can see
what's interesting? Let me just pause here. As we're looking at this right now, Jay was talking about this the other day in the Ark of the Covenant show. And he was so in alchemy, the view is that 99% of everything around us is plasma. And then in the 1%, the liquids, the gases, and the matter. So we only see 1% of everything in our universe. And he was suggesting that, like King Solomon's ring, he was controlling plasma beings. So the jinn, and that whole theory. Okay. So he's saying too that there are people who are communicating with plasma beams in our sky by flashing big mirrors into the sun, into the sky, into the clouds, and they see these plasma beings pop up. I'm wondering if that's what you're capturing here, plasma beings, as opposed to maybe metallic ships. What are your thoughts?
Very interesting. 2 reasons why I believe that UFOs appear where somebody is. It could be a coincidence. That's 3 reasons. That's 1 reason. It could be coincidence. You'll never see it again. 2, it could be something that you underwent, you were brought there, or that they met you, or that they're trying to, quite simply, maybe there's a part of the DNA that they would need, because I believe that they could be even very friendly civil scientists. They can come down, grab a whip of my hair, and take off and not know it. They're sneaky, right? That's how I see the beings as being sneaky. But what else? What exactly did you ask? Something I don't want to forget.
Well, if it's possible that what you're looking at here are plasma beings and not ships or not metallic.
Right. But there was something else you said, and I forgot. I had to tell you this, but I don't. Okay. Yes. How are they appearing? I'm sorry. I lost I wanted to say too much. 3 ways. Coincidence. It's you that's attracting them, either by your actually being able to telepathically communicate with objects or beings that you don't know of, because they're different frequencies. Right. So you can let out a thought, a pulsive impulse, a thought that goes somewhere, and that something receives it and sends something back without you understanding that you sent something out. But I have a hard time believing that the aliens would be coming down or appearing in front of me unless I deliberately am sort of presenting myself and calling them, or open-minded. It could be where I am, there's magnetism. It could be as simple as the Hydro-Quebec wires, and I am surrounded by 3 5G towers less than 3 kilometers from me.
Wow.
Exactly. So Skinwalker Ranch, you must be familiar with Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Okay. There are lights appearing when they talk about the lights. They say they send up a rocket and a light reacts. There's a part of the sky that they can't even see their own plane when it goes over. This is all recent. It's incredible. They can't see it. And you know what? The plane doesn't appear on the monitors. Somebody with a 10-inch telescope went there, or 11-inch telescope. Mine's 14. I was happy. 11-inch telescope goes to Skinwalker Ranch. And
You're talking about penis envy, man, aren't you?
14 inches, my friend. Okay. The GPS holds all the names in it, right, of the telescope, and they were all taken out. Only the stars that he would point to. He would point to the Horseshoe Galaxy. The Horseshoe Galaxy information disappeared in the scope, even though it's satellite GPS run. So there's a block in the frequency, he says, and they still don't know what it is, but something has the capability of controlling digital sound devices and everything, but it's always when they mention it or when they're over top of that friggin' ranch. and it could be something buried in the ranch because there's a lot of magnetism, and apparently the radiation levels on Skinwalker Ranch are ridiculous, dangerous levels that could be like you had 10 x-rays per second for an hour, you know.
Wow.
So they're coming out with that. So it could be that they're coming down because they're trying to take control and to know where the power sources are. There are nuclear bases and stuff like that. I believe they're going to shut them down. I think they're going to shut down the planet, the nuclear bases, and then everything will pop back up, and we won't hear that there was an alien here. They're going to leave again, and there'll be yet another holder of a secret. You know, I believe they're present. I don't assume always that these aliens are here to attack us. How could they have created us and come and attack us? Or they create us and let's go back and we're going to eat them? Doesn't make any sense there. Yeah. If they're creating us, is they can make their own food there?
People are always talking about this alien invasion coming. I mean, it's already happened. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, well, red flag. It could be a red flag, though. They could do
for
like
sure.
they're doing now.
For sure. Ronnie is saying, hey, is he talking about Big Mike? The 14 inches? No. Don't get into that. Don't get into that. Okay, we definitely have to move this.
Big Mike is actually a character on my he's laughing. No, I'm not gonna go there. Big Mike is a character. I'm pretty sure Ronnie meant that. I talked about Big Mike at one point. I presented myself as Big Mike with a deep voice, and I talked about what Obama was doing, and I made a funny video and revealed a whole bunch of things. Mais ça passe. I was able to post it right on YouTube, and nobody, because I was talking like this, and it worked. But anyways, that's Big Mike. Big Mike is really Obama's wife. Okay, carry on.
Okay, I'll just show these ones, but you guys,
he's right there.
Okay. You're having too much fun, Bruce. Okay, a couple of things. We have a little bit more. I think there's another clip in here too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Before I go to the last clip in this video that Bruce was so kind to prepare for us here today, I wanted to just backtrack on what you just talked about in Skinwalker Ranch, Esoteric Ranch, which is in
I don't know where it is, but I have heard of it.
It's just at the foot of Mount Adams, and I want to say right now,
not Arizona,
Washington State. It's Washington State, and anyways, I've been there a couple of times, and they have these basically Skywatch seminars too, where they talk about UFOs and expect UFOs to come up. Suddenly, we have these light flashes come out of nowhere, and time again, like if it happened once or twice, it's it's a coincidence. He's saying, oh, there's a UFO coming up, and then suddenly, Jesus Christ, it's right there. So there was that phenomena of lights coming up as we were talking about them that nobody could really explain. Are they aliens? I don't know. I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm just saying it was a weird kind of phenomenon that I couldn't explain. So just bear with me for a moment. But then there was also this idea of where we were from the ranch to the foot of Mount Adams, which is close to that original chain of mountains, Mount Rainier, where the term flying saucer was coined back in the mid-centuries, that plane flying. Okay, so in that general area, there's a lot of UFO sightings. And so here between this particular ranch, Esoteric Ranch, and Mount Adams, you have this phenomena where when you're doing Skywatch at night, you see these lights on the mountain, and then suddenly within a second, they're above your head, they flash, and then bang, they're back at the mountain. Yeah. And so those are really hard to explain. You're like, okay, again, I'm not saying they're ETs, but if they are military craft, well, that's not flying like any conventional flight envelope characteristics that we know of planes with wings and and jets or propellers.
Exactly.
You're talking about something completely different.
Exactly.
Now, that's fascinating, but it was the conscious part of calling them in and seeing those lights flicker that triggered me when you said the thing about the Skinwalker Ranch. And I'm curious if you're right, for the audience members. If they're like you, if they're like me, if you're like the people who are working at Skinwalker Ranch, is it really the people there who are part of this phenomena, are triggering this phenomena by their genetic code, by their predisposition to communicate with other realms, et cetera, et cetera? It's really a fascinating conversation, and people don't think about it that way. They just think about the technology, the UAP, but they don't realize, wait, this is a human experience. There's something there that has to do with consciousness also. Bruce?
Some people are daydreamers. You know the expression that you hear somebody say, oh, you're a daydreamer. Oh, Bruce wasn't good in school. This is just an example. The teacher didn't say that. He did. Bruce is
you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah, I was on the moon when I was in math class. I was outside looking at the flagpole and the insects in the corner of the windows. I didn't
know. Jean-Claude, t'es toujours dans la lune.
Yeah, always in the moon.
I got that a lot as a kid.
Yeah. Well, you know how somebody can daydream and have a thought process and think of a whole bunch of things. I like, for example, when I'm doing my exercise bike, I'm thinking not as much as when I'm, working or making my videos. When you're doing something and you need a radio or a Walkman or something, that's an old thing that we used to listen to music with. You develop a signal for real in your brain. Okay. Everything's related, the pineal gland, all the nerve, everything, the cortex, whatever. You're sending out messages, but it's a frequency. This has been proven, or probably hasn't, but will be soon, that a brain wave is a physical object wave that's leaving your head, like a gravity wave that's leaving. Some people can pick up different frequencies. So if they're able to monitor people's thought process, in other words, no, they're not going to hear me say, I want to see an alien, but they're going to get the frequency of fear or anger or hatred inside of me because they know our brains, right? So I believe the telepathic way of communication, you said it, at Skinwalker Ranch, NASA people are working there, astronauts are there, geologists, archaeologists, you have people that, what do you call them? Not shamans, but in a way, a shaman from the Navajo tribes, because apparently Skinwalker is descendant of the ideal of the Navajo Indian. It's a whole story around that,
dude. Like it's a big parallel. Walter just said, he said he had military generals come and visit. They had NASA people come and visit. Also, people with these huge 8K cameras trying to film some of the activity here to debunk it, and left with their tail between their legs, saying, "There's some stuff we can't explain." And what you just said about the natives too. Just next to Mount Adams is the Yakima tribe.
Yes,
and they have comment tu dis ça donc? Pas des meurtres, des
like packs, tribes?
No, ancient wisdom, des mœurs, des mœurs,
I'm not sure.
Des légendes,
legends. Like scribes or legends.
Or legends. Oh, so they have these legends, and let me bring up Iseri. So this is the ranch here on top here. On the actual ranch, they collaborated with the Yakima tribe to build what they call a galactic medicine wheel. And again, using the alignments and some of these different star systems in a medicine wheel, the way that the tribe would usually do medicine wheels, but here connected to the stars. That's fascinating in and of itself. We could do a whole show on that. But their legends, the Yakima tribe, is that when they had wounded healers, they would bring them up to Mount Adam here. And at a certain point, this door would open up. They don't really explain what that means, but like an energetic door, was it a big rock that rolls over? I don't know.
Were they also sending laser beams to the mountain?
They do that here with Iseri too. Yes, and sometimes things flash back at you too. Again, we don't know what that is.
They were but is that the area where they were beaming a laser, or was it Skinwalker Ranch? They beamed the laser on the mountain, and there were 3 points appearing around that laser. I think it's I could be mixing up Skinwalker.
That could be Skinwalker. I don't. That could happen here too. I don't know.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
it never happened when I was there. I went twice to this ranch, and every time there's weird stuff going on. But again, I can't say what it was. I'm just saying there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But going back to this legend and why it's important, and what you just said about the Skinwalker Ranch too. Here, the Yakima tribe have these legends of having these wounded warriors being brought to the top of a mountain. A door would open up. Their warriors would go in, the door would close, and then their warriors would come out maybe a month or 2 months later, taller, healthier, stronger. And they had these tales of having lived with people who were really tall and very advanced knowledge type of creatures. And so what the Yakima tribe was saying is that these doors were sealed off. I don't know. I'm going to guess 1,000 years ago, just for the sake of this conversation, because there was a disconnect between where the human consciousness was going and the ability to connect with the consciousness of the people in the mountain. And right now, what's happening apparently, and why there's all of these UFO activities, is that human consciousness is starting to get closer to being able to reconnect with the consciousness of those beings.
That's beautiful what you said, though. It's something beautiful. Yeah. When you think of it, it's something very beautiful.
Yeah.
And and also, who says that they didn't close the doors for the flood? You know,
that
like
too. That
a
too.
little
Yeah.
cataclysmic of 1,000 years break.
Yeah.
To get the breakers back up, you know.
But I wanted to go back to what you said at the beginning of the show and why perhaps some UFOs are attracted to you specifically personally. It has to do with perhaps your ancient lives or your past lives where you were in contact with these
I think so.
different beings on the planet. And now they're kind of making you remember or recalling that information as you're getting closer and closer to that, whatever that frequency gate is. And we all know, if you read this book, The Rebel Gene by Carrie Cassidy,
I heard of it.
She
Carrie,
talks.
Carrie, Project Camelot.
Yeah. Really good.
She interviewed me. You know? Do you know that?
I know, dude.
Wow.
That's what I mean. You look really skinny when she interviewed you. So you're almost back to where Carrie Cassidy interviewed you.
Yeah.
But when I did a book decode, I interviewed Carrie quite a few times on the show. But in this particular decode, she talked about the rebel gene being basically something that's stamped within us to make us more controllable, to make us more like a slave race. But she talked about this frequency gate. So essentially, we're not allowed to pass this gate. So the breakers are turned off in our DNA, our longevity, our ability to produce our own vitamin D or vitamin C in our bodies, all of these things. And she talked about how life is so innovative and what was the word? Resilient, that we're getting as humans, even though they're trying to stamp us down with all of this concrete on top of us, we're still going through that concrete and getting close to crashing that gate. And when we do that, exactly,
consciousness,
expanding
the
and if you talk to Julie on my show, who does all the astrology, she'll say, well, that makes complete sense. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, the knowledge bearer. So we're
Am I in that book?
What's that?
Am I in that book?
This one? I don't think so.
Oh, damn it.
No.
I'll have to wait for John Lear's book.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be in that.
Is it in production?
I think so. His daughter's supposed to do it or something.
The producer is from the gates of heaven. Oh, I miss John Lear. I wish he would be on. We would have a great time having him on the show. Actually, it would be funny.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. He was a very special type of person. When you got to know him, he was in charge of everything ufology, you know.
Oh, for sure.
He let me know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, from a lot of those older guys and girls who were like the OGs of this stuff, they very much have that chip on their shoulder, and we love them for it too. I mean,
when do we go to the ranch? When Canada allows us to leave?
Actually, May 1st. It's official now.
Oh, you're going there, are you?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going there. No, sorry. May 11th is the day they finally dropped the mandates in the States where Canadians are allowed to cross the border now without the vaccine passport.
Oh, really? Are we allowed leaving? Are we allowed leaving here if we're virgin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so technically, so far as the news stands, I don't have the article. I put it out earlier this week. It's on my Twitter.
Yeah, I saw them this week. They were talking about it finally. Yeah. And you know what? Biden, Trudeau had the gall to ask Biden to allow Canadians to enter without having anything, when in reality he says, "No, you ain't leaving without anything." It's like it's stupid friggin', Anyways, that's how it is.
Don't get me started. You and I have to do a political show. That's something else.
It would be amazing without even researching, just an hour
just shooting the shit like this. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And also taking comments from the maybe a live call show. Oh man, that would be hilarious. Okay.
Man, that's been my dream, actually. Honestly, I don't know how to do that, but I would love having a phone number where real callers can call in.
I could do that, actually. I set that up last year to do a call-in show. So people would call this digital number. It's kind of like an SNR. Bell had this technology like 20 years ago. It was called SNR, single number reach. So you would call this number that was basically just a VoIP redirect, a voice over IP redirect. So anybody calling that number thinks they're calling an actual phone, but they convert to your software here on your computer, and we could pick up the phone here live.
Right.
We have the capability of doing that here already. So, okay, Bruce, you're giving me ideas here, right?
I know it.
It's a brand new show. Bruce, I have about 10 minutes left. We're almost at the hour mark. We can go a little bit long here.
We got plenty of time. I can scoot right through that in a flash.
Okay, let's go. How far forward do you want me to go for this last clip here? Where are we?
Keep going. Okay, that's near the end there. I'm going to do a forward and back maybe, but you can. Okay, there's a forward and back. So you guys saw that there's a light in the center there. You understand that?
Yeah.
In other words, so keep going past that to the end there, and keep going, and you'll the minute. Here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so pause it first. Okay. I've shown you this before.
Okay,
it's on the moon. Okay, I want you to know. Look at all the bumps that are on the surface. you can tell that it's all the lines and craters, it's a bumpy surface. I took down the exposure really down. I added a green filter. I could still show this in black and white. I just like the green. It helps my eyes. Now you're going to see a UFO leaving. Okay, hang on before playing it. When it leaves the surface, notice that everything is synchronized. If you see one leaving, there's one disappearing or reappearing, and even in the same spot. In the center bottom area of this, you see a lot of little lights, one bigger one and smaller ones underneath. Those smaller lights will be moving around. They're all going to the exit to take off in the same freaking place as that other light is taking off. And you see them interacting with the surface. So it could also be a transportation on the surface where, like for real, the Jetsons, get in just a fast train of, speeding across the moon to get into the hidden sections. It could really be a commercial place where people are working on the moon, doing various experiments. But if you play it, you'll flip out. I mean, it's not long, and it talks for itself. Honestly, it talks for itself. And you'll see the lights on the bottom. Watch.
Okay, let me play the clip. Before I do that, there was just somebody, Daniel Brooks, where is asking about that. What are telomeres? Telomeres are the little dangly things at the end of your chromosomes there. And in Taoist points of view, they suggest you can lengthen your because they get shorter over time as you die and lose your chi or your prana, your energy.
Right.
And the Taoists say that you can actually lengthen your telomeres with different practices, the hot cold, like Wim Hof techniques and stuff like that, and also like meditation. And anyways, so Daniel, we'll do another show on that.
Very interesting, Daniel.
Fair Light says, JC, you should start that. Oh, the Callin Show. Yeah, that'd be cool. Lakeside Laura says, I'll volunteer to be the operator. Okay, that's cool. Hey, there you go, Bruce, I think we're manifesting live here. This brand new show of ours, a Callin Show with Bruce Esal.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's play this clip and see where this goes here.
It speaks for itself. There's nothing I can say. Look on the bottom. They're appearing, disappearing. Look, they appear, they disappear. They appear, they change places simultaneously. The one on the right disappears. The one on the left appears. They move at the same time. They're all coordinated. So now this UFO that you've seen before, close to the house, just doing a comparison to give.
Hold on, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. So this one here, where are we situated on the moon when I look at this?
You know where Mare Fecunditatis is?
Yeah.
Boom. Right in it. Where all those objects, the black on the top right that you're seeing right here is Mare Fecunditatis. You're right inside of Mare Fecunditatis on the bottom part. So that means right under that is Mare Imbrium, where Apollo declared landing. Right underneath that.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. You see, you're going too fast, man. We needed to know that. That's important. And then it makes you think why NASA chose those specific landing sites in the first place. We were told like a cover story, but there's always more to the story.
Exactly. So do you think they could have pretended that they went to make Russia think that those lights were them moving around the surface?
Who knows?
Guarantee you that there's something about that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let's get to the last clip here. Yes, I remember this one. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This one
so that's the one I saw. The shape in the center changes, already changing. The corners a square, then it gets like a circle. That is gigantic. Okay. And you can see that the light that's on top there moving around is because my camera is having a hard time picking it up. And this you have to see, JC. This is on the moon. It's Plato Crater. That is the black line beside Plato Crater. Go look in any image. You'll see a black line as long as a pencil point. It's not big. And there's smoke coming out of the end of it, or it's not coming out of it, but there's smoke on the ground appearing. I can see it coming out of the friggin' tunnel there. You can see it moving around there.
Yeah.
And it just so happens there's...
So this is an exhaust to some type of manufacturing or...
Yeah. And look what's in it with the arrow. There's a UFO or debris. Oh, yeah. Flying around. It's hard to see. So can you imagine? I would never have been able to see that. It's too small. You know, you have to slow it down, but it's there.
Right here.
It's really there. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And
let's just go back here. We went too fast again. People are in the chat are going to say, okay, what about this one? Why were we looking at this one again? Because you and I have talked about it.
Yeah. Now listen, one day I was filming the UFOs in the sky that I usually film. So they're higher, they're just as high. A lot of them are even higher than planes. This one appeared at the height of a low plane. It came down like blood in an aquarium red blood in an aquarium, going like that, boom, 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 nice, like fizzing around, like literally like this, like just fizzing around as it's coming towards me, and then the light went like that, and the beams went on the sides, and it came down to the height of my house, almost stopped, went down to the garage, and literally 15 feet away in the air, I'm going like this, filming it. And it's just to say that I was able to get it all in the image. So we're talking about the size of a very small truck or a car. I had a hard time getting the size, to be honest with you. It was just the light. Like with the light, it was as big as a truck, but maybe what was inside of it wasn't like a truck.
Right.
With the naked eye, I couldn't see that. With the naked eye, it was red, orange, and then yellow when it went back up. Yellow, it went back up to regular normal color and continued on its path going towards East Montreal, coming from the West Toronto. Literally appeared in the sky over the tower. Where did it appear? It appeared where the biolab. That's right over, in other words, over the building, over that building that we saw, the like in the back, right over that building, boom, appeared out of nowhere.
What's the name of the biolab? No. What's the town?
Huntingdon Biolab. They'll tell you it's a marijuana place, and it's not.
Let's see if I can find that on the map.
Huntington Marijuana Distribution. We don't have any of that here, but that's what they say that place is, and it's not. They actually do experimentation on living organisms. I looked it up, and they even changed the name of it. And wait till you see where it is. It's across from a Hydro-Quebec junction. It's leaning on a 5G tower. The 5G tower is coming out of the biolab.
Okay, stop. We have to bring this to a Rumble show.
Next time, JC, next time we'll go together and I'll show you exactly where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to do an interview close there. Or I'll bring my gear and we'll do a live stream from your place or something. And I'd love to
absolutely.
Filming stuff too. We could get you filming. Bruce, I'm gonna ask you, there's a lot of people asking in the chat too, like, how do I get started with this? I don't have money for a 14-inch telescope, big mic. But how do I start looking up at the stars? And what do I need at the strict minimum here to start seeing some stuff? I'll get into that in a second here, but I just want to shout out.
That's a good question. Very good question. Thank you guys for the kind wishes. Listen,
I'll be there. Hold on just a sec, Bruce. Before I get you to answer that question, I just want to shout out here Carla from Ascension Organites. I love this particular pyramid. We're giving away pyramids here on the show most of the time. Here for all our supporters here who help us do all of this free content on YouTube. This particular pyramid, Liam, I love this one here too. It makes me think of the moon. And of course, I thought, okay, Bruce sees all. The moon is inhabited. This is the perfect pyramid to give away. So let's see what Liam has in store for you guys. This is the pyramid from AscensionOrganites.com.
Hi guys, this is Carla from Ascension Organites, and today I have the additional piece with the Divine Masculine series. The name is Liam. So Liam is made of hematite stones, opalite crystals, aluminum metals, and the Merkaba or Metatron symbol in silver. So hematite is a very masculine stone. It helps with grounding, heal the body, also bring calm in stressful situations. Opalite is known as a success stone. It helps with transitions. It also encourages persistence and gives strength, removes all blockages we may have in our chakra or in our bodies. I'll give it a quick turnaround so you can see it. And there's Liam. I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, big. That is big. That's not small.
Oh no, that's a big. No. These are amazing pyramids. I have quite a few already. Oh yeah,
a couple of them.
Yeah, nice. I love it.
That's my ninja star. I kill the aliens with that.
Really cool. You got quartz sticking out at the ends? What?
Yes, but you mentioned hematite. I have Lisa Eckerly, a community member. She sent me a beautiful piece of hematite.
Oh wow!
She told me all the healing of it. I get some beautiful things. Look, real quick. A arrowhead, apparently real. I got this from I Am Kai. Sent me some energy. I get some.
Wow!
I get some amazing. Yeah,
beautiful. Guys, if you're looking at getting one of these amazing pyramids for yourself here, you can do so at ascensionorganites.com. The links are in the description box below. And there, if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll get an extra 10% off.
Wow, amethyst and everything, I guess.
Oh, this one's gorgeous too. I have this one too up here. It's Carla's amazing. She does amazing creations. Guys, go check it out and support her work.
Yeah, for sure.
AscensionOrganites.com. Bruce, so that last question here before we go. like for people who want to get started and don't have necessarily like tons of money to get started here to look at the skies, but that still like are interested in hopefully capture something that is outside of the norm, what do they need to get started?
There's a very easy way and an expensive way. For under between 300 and 400 Canadian dollars, you know it, JC. You have a very good quality infrared. I mean, it goes up into 10, 15,000 of dollars, but you must have tried one that's $300-400 too, and you must know that they're very good devices. Okay, you can go and see a whole bunch of light. Everything that I'm getting right now is with a $300 to $400 device, and one of them was even $280. But that's with the infrared.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get a monocular. Is what I got. The monocular. Okay, it's a regular monocular. Okay, Bushnell is the exact model I got. And I'm able to see a lot of lights. You'll see explosions, anything satellite, anything UFO, debris flying by out of control. It's lit up. It's very bright. It's incredible. You can see it. As for a telescope, I have a 14-inch telescope. When you go from I went from a 4 3/4 inch, 5-inch to a 14. So the people saw that, there's not a lot of difference. There is a lot, but not as much as people thought. People would think I go from 5. So if you want to know what size of a telescope, well, you need one with a remote, because if you want to get stars, you're not going to be able to get it without a remote. You have to don't forget, you have to move and align the stars all the time with a remote. If you don't have a remote, it's easy, up and down. You can get one as big as a 6-inch. 8-inch is a great size to view stuff like I'm viewing. You'll see it a little smaller. Work on the exposure. Zoom it in. Bring it in as much as me. You'll be a bit blurry. But telescopes do the same work. You can pay under $2,000 for a telescope about 6 inches. Let's say, to be safe, $2,000. I suggest 6 to 8 inches. Then you might want to put a camera on it. If you don't have the money to get the camera, start off with a solar imager. I paid $200 for my first camera. It was 3 megapixels. It sucked.
Oh, wow.
It sucked. Okay.
Yeah.
But you can start off slow.
Yeah.
As for the model of telescopes, there's lots of prices and variations. They say when you buy a telescope, you get what you pay for. The Celestron is one of the best make in telescopes, but it's not the only telescope out there doing a good job. I haven't tried them all. But that's what I can suggest. Get yourself a small 6-inch, even a 5-inch. I had a 5-inch, but JC, but it has 1,100 focal length, millimeters of focal length and everything. So it was a wide view and everything. The one I had right here, JC, I'm going to show it to you. Okay. Oh my goodness, Dusty. That's a 5-inch. Celestron 5-inch.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I got. This telescope, if I'm not mistaken, I paid $1,100 or $1,200 for it with a remote. It's got an incredible focal length. It's easy. You set up, you stick your camera at the back there. Look at the dust. You stick your camera at the back there, and you get the right piece for your camera, and you're ready to go.
Bruce, clearly you're not using that one. It's all dusty. You're using the other one. Would you sell that? Like, do you still use it, or do you want to keep it in backup, or would you sell it? Maybe there's audience members who would be willing to buy it.
It could be. I mean, I use it for the sun sometimes.
Oh, you still use it? Okay.
Oh yeah. Still use it, but I'd have to check that. Okay. Be honest with you, if I had a lot of support on my channel and things were going so well, when I buy the new telescope, I'd give away my 14. I'm sure nobody would believe me, but I would. Wow. I got here because of my community. That's one thing. You know it.
Oh yeah.
You shit on your community, you're done. You have no channel. You got to interact with them like you do. That's the best thing. People want an interaction.
Yeah. You do a great job. Guys, go check out Bruce here at Bruce Sees All on YouTube. And Bruce, if some people want to support you here too, there's their Patreon. And in the description box of your video, there's another link here also for the people who want to support you in buying new equipment. What's that link again for the audience members?
The My Event link. Yes. Well, look, on all of my videos, except for the streams, every video, you have the fundraiser link. And I'm raising money to buy bigger equipment. It's money I've been raising for 2 or 3 years. I haven't touched it yet. Telescopes are freaking expensive, but you can become a Patreon, or some people come by the streams and leave $2 super chats. It's great. Wonderful. I don't know if you have it here. You have the thanks button.
No, I'm demonetized on YouTube. I've been deleted twice, and they don't want to remonetize me. So.
That is ridiculous, man. I'm sorry for that, man. That is so unfair, though.
That's why we have like sponsors on the show. Like people.
That's why,
sponsors. Yes. We get a little bit of a kickback, keeps the lights going, and buy the equipment, the bandwidth specifically for all of the big shows.
Absolutely, absolutely. Drones, infrared drone. Eventually, also I want to get maybe updating an infrared, but I'm being very careful. Think of it. If I'm trying to raise $30,000, JC, and I turn around and I go buy a $15,000 infrared, I want to, I'm being careful. Things are so expensive.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That and the drone, $25,000 bucks. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about the highest class of a drone either,
Yeah.
So
this is the link, guys. My event. Let me just bring that down in the live chat so you can click directly on it.
Those are all celestial objects that you're looking at in that image. That's a real image of mine. The constellation of Lyra. The bottom, you see those stars in the bottom center?
Let me just accept this. Yeah.
Okay. You see the great Orion Nebulae beside to the left of your thing, the green spot?
Yeah.
Jupiter, bottom right. The yellow egg.
Yeah.
I think it's Neptune on the top right with a ring around. I'm not sure, but you see, or a bit lower under the 4. But look in the dead center where it says make a donation to the left of the white box. That the whole image I overlaid. That is the constellation of Lyra. In the constellation, I was blown away. It's only suns. There's only suns and stars, like millions of suns, and apparently they're thousands of times bigger than our sun. So you can imagine space, my friend, is not cold. Space is very hot.
Wow. That's amazing. And let me bring up your Patreon also, patreon.com/Bruce Cizal. I'm going to bring the link down. What do people get here when they subscribe to your Patreon?
I put up a video or two a month. And very importantly, when I opened this, some people wanted to contact me in a personal way. When you're on Patreon, if you wake up in the morning or at 6 in the morning or 3 in the morning, you go, hey, Bruce, can I talk to you? I'm there. I'm interacting with everyone that's there for sure. My patrons are so amazing. They don't even ask me for anything. Like maybe if you're a patron and you say, Bruce, I loved your last video of that moon picture that you got. Could you send me a digital copy? I try to interact with
that's cool.
The community, a bit. And at the same time, they're the ones that I'm the one winning more from that because they're there to support me. Often some people become a patron and they don't even talk. They just want to support the channel, and I think
and that's so important. Like I know, like you and I have had trouble with censorship here before.
And we have to ask for it, but there's a way of asking for it. We don't ask. You give the link, and if they don't want, it's a free channel.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to help, but thankfully,
we do appreciate those who do. Like you make all the difference in the
we
world. We wouldn't be here without the community. So big thank you to the community. Hey, thank you, Esmeralda. I love that. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Let me just bring up Bruce's YouTube channel back up on the top.
This is getting more and more fun each time.
Dude, I'm telling you, we need to move this to a Rumble. We're gonna have a lot more fun there, so we can just really shoot this shit and not.
So when do we take on Redacted? Let's just friggin' start a news. Hey, listen, I'm losing weight and everything. You're telling me.
The sky's the limit. Like people are joining the woo. When you and I started this, we were leaving the community as the tinfoil hatters and Smallfoot, the movie I'm talking
over
about.
There we were.
And now the whole community is coming back to us now, right? So we can build these infrastructures and they will come. And that's what's happening now. And a big thank you to all of you joining us here today. Of course, Bruce Cizal is the man and is the place to be here on YouTube. So go and check it out. This was, of course, another edition of The Moon is Inhabited.
If we build it, they will come.
Will come. Let's play some baseball. I'd love to do movie decodes with you too at some point.
With some fun shows and a whole bunch of stuff we could.
Actually, I have a new show coming up. It's called Movie Decodes. Do I have a poster? Let me see if I have it. I'll show it to you guys. You're going to be like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. This is going to be with Jay Widener, and we're going to be focusing on. Let me see if I can bring that up. Does that work here?
You say Joe Wider?
No, Jay Widener.
Okay,
producer.
You know who Joe Wider is?
No.
You know Wider. WEIDR, because my dad in the 80s, the people used to do Wider products, dumbbells, and the Wider.
Was it Wider? Oh yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, the
Joe Wider
bodybuilding equipment. Yeah.
My dad left me his old books.
He was a mentor of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. And Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
Ferrigno, yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember, I think Schwarzenegger for the longest time, he was under the brand of Whiter, and then when he died, he was released for that, and then he created his own powders, like supplement powders and all that under the Schwarzenegger. I forget what the brand was. At any rate, yeah, this is the new movie Decode poster. We're going to start next month. Sorry, not next week. I'm not sure we're doing Stargate first, but we're going to look at all these sci-fi films and look at how perhaps they were more documentaries.
Yes, lots of truth in movies. Incredible.
Yeah, like we want to get into exactly that, the disclosure of it and what it means for the trajectory of humankind. So that's going to be cool. And there's another show coming up here too that's going to be where no woo has gone before. So that's going to be more on the theme of the mission and vision of Gene Roddenberry. Yes. Do that again. Do it again. Dude, you're amazing. Yes, so the mission of Gene Roddenberry of the future of humanity and how we can plot that course now as we're moving into the age of Aquarius. And so we're going to have a lot of interviews with really cool
I'm looking forward to listening.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one as well.
Yes.
All right, guys, I got to go. I'm late for another appointment. This was, of course, The Moon is Inhabited with Mr. Bruce Weasel. Check him out on YouTube and have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Bye-bye, everyone.